So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hi villains, and welcome to the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. Really quick one here. I have about a 10-minute break in work, and I decided I'd pop on and talk to you about nothing other than my favourite topic, football players and transfers. And as today is transfer deadline day, what better time than to talk to you guys about somebody that has been linked with Aston Villa this morning by Mike McGrath in the from the Telegraph. I think Mike McGrath, as he says, that AVFC are in talks with Dendoncker for a 12 million deal. They're winning the race ahead of West Ham United. It looks like West Ham are letting Craig Dawson go to Wolves. These things do check out, I think, from the point of view that Dawson seems to be going to Wolves. But Bednarek seems to be going from Southampton to West Ham, and Dendoncker then moving from Wolves to Aston Villa. Now, there's a bit of intricacy with regards to this deal, and from the point of view of I kind of half hope that this isn't the centre half that we're signing for centre half cover, but I do hope that he is the defensive midfielder signing that we may be bringing in. Obviously, I would still want an 8 if this guy comes in, but there's been a lot of rumours about a lot of players today. There's been a Conor Gallagher rumour that it's rumoured that we're back in for Sarah again. I do have something on that I will, if more concrete information comes on that I will try and jump on for something. It's rumored that we're in for Coletta Carr. It's rumored that we're in for, the rumors are just rumors and rumors on top of everything. And as they said, as Douglas Renham said in the IT crowd, who is one of the most fantastic comedy characters of all time. And if there's somebody out there who hasn't seen the IT crowd, please watch it. Douglas Renham said that there was rumors that there were rumors, but they turned out to be bullshit. And I'm expecting an awful lot of that today. But let's have a little look at Leander Dendoncker. Leander Dendoncker is a really interesting character. He's a really interesting player. He's got loads and loads and loads of talent. He's a bit slow. At this Wolves team, he has he's kind of dipped in and out of this Wolves team. He played from memory, and it'll come up in a slide actually. Why don't I just bring it up in a slide in a minute? There it is. So he had 21 starts last season, 9 as a sub. He's had 249 starts in his career, and he's 27 years of age. He's played a lot of football. Came from Anderlecht to Wolves. A big money signing at the time, and he's obviously a Belgian international. He's 29 caps for Belgium as well. But what he does is sometimes he gets caught between two stools, between that centre half and that central midfield moniker, because he's exceedingly defensive. He's a really defensive player, and he's one of these players that, because he gets caught between two stools, his stats don't look very good as a defensive midfielder when you look at him from the point of view of how he stacks up against probably number 8s, and when we look at the players that we have in a moment. And I want to say that as well, because a lot of people will say, and Paddy and myself have spoken about it, that yes, I will always look at stats. There's always context around stats, and there's always reasons for certain things. So you have to look at them. You can't look at them in a vacuum. You have to look at them in conjunction with other things, like obviously with what you see on the field. Dendoncker's an imposing man. He's always played well against us. I don't think I've ever seen him play badly against Villa. I'm open to correction on that. But he's quite a good player. From that point of view, he's not going to do any 40-yard Rabona passes down the wing to people. He's very disciplined, holds his position really, really well, stops people playing through him. And he doesn't like the finer things in footballing life, as in he's not going to carry the ball. He kind of reminds me a bit of Guido Rodriguez, except he's not as aggressive. And when I mean as aggressive, Guido Rodriguez should be in Mortal Kombat. That's the type of player that he is. And we all know how much I love Guido Rodriguez, and we'll love to see him at Aston Villa. This guy's that same stopper type mentality as a Guido Rodriguez. And he's somebody that's kind of fallen victim of the fact that Wolves like to play Neves and Moutinho in that kind of role, play the two people back there. And Dendoncker has deputized there. He's come in, he's played it at centre half. And Wolves over the years with Nuno Espirito Santo and specifically with Bruno Lange have decided that they want players that are kind of moldable from the point of view, can step out into defensive midfield like a Dendoncker or like a Roman Saiz that they had as well there at centre half as well. So he's but what it does is it affects their numbers because they fall between two stools from a numbers point of view. But when you watch him, you see he's an imposing type of character. So I hope that kind of makes some sense when I say it like this, and when I put it like this. 12 million is a pretty decent deal, I think, for somebody like this. 27 years of age, Belgian international. You know, I think 12 million is a pretty decent deal for this guy. It would have would have to signify that we're moving to a 4-2-3-1. As I say, I would expect him to play in that buffer position alongside Kamara to make us harder to break down. I would also expect, personally, I would be expecting another centre half to come in here, along with Dendoncker. But we will see. As I say, I don't know. This may not even come true. Today's going to be wild, guys. It's going to be wild. We have another 12 hours of this, and there's going to be lies on top of lies, and there's going to be half-truths on top of half-truths, and who knows what the hell is going on. So take this for what it is as a study on the player itself. And this is the player statistics we can see here of him as how he would... so, excuse me. These are the statistics that we see here. Everything on the left-hand side that you see in regards to percentages, they are his statistics based on being a central midfielder. Okay, so they're all based on being a central midfielder. He doesn't have, I don't have the percentage statistics on him based as a centre half. But when we look at the radial diagram here, we can see where his midfield statistics would stack up being a centre half. But obviously, the context here is that we need to see him in the centre half position more often, and that's why I just can't fathom that this would be a centre half purchase. But then again, I haven't been able to fathom an awful lot that's been going on at Aston Villa over the last 6 weeks anyway. So I'm open to correction on all this. For the beautiful people that you guys are, I've added in Callum Chambers here, even though his sample set is small. You'll see the red line is Callum Chambers, the white line is Ezri Konsa, the pink line is Tyrone Mings, and the yellow line is Leander Dendoncker. You can make up your mind with regards to this. He's going to be a central defensive midfielder. He's going to have more opportunities to pressure. That's where you can see the greatest gulf between these players. The context is there with regards to that. From a tackling point of view, he tackles at the same clip as Callum Chambers, who is by far the best, or by far tackles the most of players within our team. Passing attempts, Dendoncker doesn't attempt an awful lot of passes. That's not to say he can't pass, because he's a high pass success rate. He's just a guy who's in there to stop people playing in the middle of the park. And I think we've needed one of those for years and years and years. So happy enough to see him linked from that point of view. Just keeping an eye on the clock because I have a finite amount of time. Let's see how he looks with regards to our midfielders at the moment. Now, once again, red line is Douglas Luiz, white line is John McGinn, pink line is Jacob Ramsey. Do not, for me, as I say, the panic does not set in when you look at this radial diagram with regards to how he performs with regards to other players. He's like literally, he's not tasked with doing anything other than stopping players. That's what he's been told to do at Wolves. His numbers have been affected by the fact that he's fallen between two stools, as I mentioned. He doesn't progress the ball forward. He's very much a George Boateng type. His progressive passing distance isn't there. That's what he's been asked to do. And, sometimes when we look at statistics, they can be overblown. And you have to look at the player, and you have to look at footage of the player as well. And you have to do both things. You just have to. Otherwise, you're looking for confirmation bias. And that's something that we try not to do. Well, I certainly try not to do, but we all fall victim of it as human beings. So it's important to see the differences between the two sides here. I am not in any way, shape, or form saying that this guy is the second coming of Lothar Matthäus, because that would be silly. But what I am saying here is that when you look at him with regards to our midfielders who are asked to do completely different things with the ball, they're asked to be all things to everybody at the moment and have been over the last 365 days. When you look at that, he looks... and plus, also, let's be honest as well, the statistics that I've chosen to pick here for a more complete are for a more complete midfielder. I want people, when we're looking at players here, these were for number 8s essentially, someone who needs position stats, passing stats, defensive stats, and so on. But like when we look at it here, he's very much a stopper type midfielder, and that's why I wanted to show the differences between how he looks when we put his numbers up against our midfielders and also against our centre halves here as well as to what he's done. done for Wolves. So look, it may come off, it may not. We will be back. We will speak a small bit more about him if he does. I hope this has been enlightening for people. I hope you that it makes even sense. But what I would say for this guy is that for me, he's an interesting link. I think for 12 million, you should definitely be you should be definitely interested in somebody like this. He's got a lot of miles left in the tank at only 27 and a half years of age. And as I say, his skill set from the point of view of making us more hard to break down, his structural ability, his structural attention to detail, his positional ability. His positional ability is really good, guys. Really, really good. As in, you know, he's not going to break out of his detail if he's positioned to. And look, once again, I know there's probably going to be tens of comments in here that says, but sure, if Gerrard tells him to stay out in the wing, does that mean he's going to stay out there? This guy's positional sense of where to stop the ball coming through and how to play in a defensive midfield position is pretty decent. It's probably the best that we would have on the team at the moment. And I think I'm all for structure at the minute. I'm all for players who can play in structure and can stay structured, specifically in midfield. And I think that we have to get to a situation where we let our strikers do the attacking. Albeit, I think for times against West Ham and last night, we tried to put that situation into place, but our attackers just couldn't get anywhere near the ball. So I think even if this guy does come in, and number 8 is still certainly needed, and I think also maybe another winger is needed or some more attacking intent up top is needed, along with a centre half. So you guys, I've just rattled off 4 positions I think that the club need. Let's see what the club do, and let's see what happens over the next few hours. I will be back with any more information that I get, or any more. If they were linked with anybody else, I will try my best to pop on and give some more of these bite-sized pieces. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks very much, everybody. And until later in the day, all that's left to say is up the Villa.